Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midday Muster. Today I'm coming to you live from the beautiful Queanbeyan River. As you can see behind me, I'm in a very beautiful spot down here in Queanbeyan. The weather's held out for us. I am on tour at the moment. I just played in the Tourist Hotel last night in Queanbeyan, and I'll be taking you inside last night's gig a little bit later on in the show. I've got some snippets from the show, and you'll get a little bit of a taste of what it was like to be there in person at my first gig back after a long pause due to restrictions and COVID. I don't think we're allowed to say the word COVID. Shh. But coming up on the show today, we're having a chat with Lindsay. He's here to talk about his brand new album 11, and he's going to sing a song for us live a little bit later, and we'll be hearing what he's been up to. And of course, we'll be going inside my gig, and because we're out and about today, I don't think we're going to be able to do a live songwriting session today, but we're making up for it with some nice videos from my gig last night. So before we do any more, let's get stuck into the roundup. So here's what's making country music news this week. Brad Cox has just announced he has signed a global music publishing deal with Sony ATV Music Publishing. This is a pretty exciting deal for him, and it will see him work alongside creative teams in Nashville and Australia to write his new hits. This comes off the back of the success of his last few singles over the last 12 months. So great news for Brad. Music lovers in Queensland are very happy because the Winton Way Out West Fest is returning in April 2021. They've got an awesome lineup. It includes Lee Kernaghan, Shepherd, Daryl Braithwaite, and the Wolf Brothers, amongst many more. So if you can get into Queensland, Winton's Way Out West Fest is happening in April. And Keith Urban and Pink have got the most played song on Australian country radio this week with their song One Too Many. It has just pipped our local song, which is a collaboration between Southbound and Shannon Nolfine. Our Way is in number 2, but Keith Urban and Pink have got the number 1 most played song spot this week. And finally, Celebrity Country Music Whiz has got a very special episode coming up this week. It is the Country on Keppel special. It'll see us going to some of the artists that are headlining Country on Keppel Festival and having them take our country music quiz. So we've got Matt Cornell, Brad Butcher, Caitlin Shadbolt, and Jade Holland taking the quiz this week. So you're going to want to tune in on Wednesday night for this very special quiz. Well, that's it for the roundup. It is time to go to our next segment, which sees us invite artists on to talk about their new songs and hear the stories behind them. So here we go. So Lindsay is a singer-songwriter who started in country music back in the day. He was in the top 10 in Star Maker. He also attended the Academy of Country Music, which, as we know, so many of our country artists attend. His career's taken a few turns since then. He's gone into pop, he's gone into rock, but he is firmly back in country now with his new album 11. So let's welcome Jamie to the show.
To come back, you gotta go there to come back. You never know there if you don't go there. If you don't go there, you won't know. So you better go there, better go there, better go there to come back. Yeah, gotta go there to come back. You never know there if you don't go there. If you don't go there, you won't know. So you better go there to come back. Come on back now.
was a
That's the
great
funniest
clip
part of
there.
that video clip. My guitarist Jake Tuffin is such a funny guy, and that's just we left that in because it was so funny, and it just had to be seen by everyone else, not just us. Hello, Dani.
Hello, Jamie. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. How are you going?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm in Central Coast and it's raining cats and dogs today, but not complaining. You know, we need the rain, and it's a lot better than where we were last year at this time with all like the bushfires happening. So I'd prefer rain over bushfires any day of the week. But thanks for having me on the Midday Muster, and hello to all your fans out there and listeners and watchers. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. It's a shame it's raining where you are. It was meant to be thunderstorms here. It's actually looking like there could be some rain on the way, but here in Queanbeyan, the weather's certainly held up for the Midday Muster at least. So thank you to the weather gods out there. Great to have you on the show. You've played a Celebrity Country Music Quiz just a couple of weeks ago, and I think
did.
you did pretty well, didn't you, playing our country music quiz?
I did. Some of the questions I did all right, and then there was a few that was just right over my head. But I had such a great time. It's such a great show, and you know, hats off to you for providing us some great entertainment in this crazy time of lockdowns and all that. So yeah, hats off, man. It's a great show, and I had so much fun. I want to come back on one time.
Oh, absolutely. I was about to say we need to get you on again because you are great value
Yes.
to have on the show, and I
Oh,
think you
thank
can
you.
top your score from last time too. So we'll get you
I
on
want
again
to.
soon.
Awesome.
And so
Thanks, Danny.
you're
Thanks, Danny.
talking about your music and not just about all the shows we're doing.
Sure.
How has the last 6 months or so been for you? I'm guessing there haven't been many gigs on the cards. What have you been doing during this crazy time?
Well, it's interesting because I kind of went from doing like 4 or 5 shows a week, doing covers and all that kind of stuff, like everyone has to do, to pretty much doing nothing. And so, look, I did a little bit of the streaming, but I also run a recording studio out of my house as well. And so, you know, I've always used my studio for my own music, and I thought, well, this could be an opportunity to reach out and see if anyone else wanted me to produce their music, and now would be the time because I have a lot of time on my hands, and so that's what I did. I just I've had a few people over the years kind of contact me and you know, asked me if I was interested in recording and producing their music, and I just didn't have the time at that stage. So when lockdown happened, I thought, well, now's the opportunity to do those other projects and make some extra money and you know, somehow stay creative and be productive, and absolutely love it. Like, I've gone back to doing about 2 or 3 shows a week now for the last couple of months, which I'm very lucky because I do a lot of solo shows. But I'm still into, like, Wednesdays and Thursdays are for me are for producing others as well, and I think that even after lockdown, I will continue to do that because it's something that I never had time to do. But I'm loving recording and producing other people. It's great.
So it's been a time for you to get to try some other things within the music industry. I think a lot of us have. For me, I've been
Yeah.
sort of learning to do my own publicity, make my own video clips. I think for many artists, it's been, you know, a lot of people have been producing or learning to
Yeah.
record vocals at home, or just learning
Yeah.
to do something, learning to live stream,
Yeah.
learning to start a YouTube channel. That's kind of what the time has been like. Just figure out something else you can do to fill the time and still be creative. So it's great to hear you've
Which is
had the
kind of
chance to
cool.
produce some artists.
Yeah, look, it's been cool, and you're totally right. You know, there's been some major positives that have actually come out of all this, and I think we've all had to reevaluate the way we do things, and we've had to hustle, and we've had to really kind of rethink our whole approach to obviously making money and trying to stay active and keep going, because normally we would have the gigs, like, you know, this time we'd be probably thinking about leading up to Tamworth, you know. Well, that's not going to happen now, so we just have to get really creative and keep plugging and doing our thing and making, you know, our fans aware that we're still here and we're still going strong and we're doing all we can, you know. So and having shows like this and your trivia night is fantastic because it just keeps people aware of what you're doing and what others are doing. And so, yeah, once again, hats off, man, because you are doing exceptionally well.
You're just saying that because I'm the host of the show. You're such a sucker.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But seriously,
And so
you
your
are. So,
career,
yeah,
your career's taken a few little turns. You started at a
it
very
has.
young age. I think it was 9 years old. You started playing guitar. I think at about
Yeah.
18 you released your first EP. Shortly after
Mm.
that, you did Star Maker, the Academy. But since then, you've done pop, you've done rock. You're back in country now. What are some of
Yeah.
the highlights that you've got to experience throughout that time of delving into different genres? Like of your music career, what are some of the highlights?
Oh, there's so many highlights. I mean, I kind of grew up very country, so I started in country in 97, 98, and that was such a great experience. And I'm actually from Launceston, so you know, by the time I got to my early 20s, I moved over to the mainland, and then I met up with other musicians, and they were doing other kinds of music like rock and all that. And so I just, you know, I was still very much exploring where I wanted to go with my music, and I went down the rock road and I formed a band, blah blah blah. But as far as highlights, I guess, you know, I've worked with you know, a lot of great producers such as Harry Vander, who did the Easy Beats and AC/DC, and Mark Feist, who did John Legend, and heaps of other great acts overseas. And look, I mean, the biggest thing for me, and all that's really cool, but the biggest thing for me performing for the last 20 years are the places that I've played and the actual people that I've met all along the way, because that's what's really made a difference, you know? It really has.
Fantastic. And you're back in country now. What has
I am.
inspired you to have your, your latest record be firmly a country album? After doing so many different things, what's brought you back?
You know, I've never stopped loving country music, and I've never stopped writing country music. I just never had a vehicle to push it. And a few years ago, I was kind of in the background writing for other people, and I wasn't. I thought I was ready to just stay in the background and just be a writer and do those things, but then I thought, no, I'm not finished yet. And then, you know, I'm 43, and I just, you know, country's always been really at my heart, and I've been doing a lot of other projects, and I just thought, what do I really want to do for the rest of my life? Like, what's the genre that I want to keep doing for the rest of my life? And the answer was country music. You know, it's where I started. I did wander off and do a whole heap of other things, but you know, to be honest, country music's really close to what I'm about. You know, I'm all about the community and writing songs from the heart, telling stories about what I've been doing for the last 20 odd years. And you know, and I think that's what country music excels at, is that storytelling, is that realism, is being honest to the audience. And you know, it's not about pickup trucks and blah blah blah. It is to some, and that's cool, but it's really just about telling a good story, having a good yarn, and getting it out there, and just being at a level like as I said, I'm 43 and I'm over the BS. You know, I don't care about all that kind of other stuff, you know, and that's really pop and rock kind of oriented about how you look, and you know, making sure that it's, you know, you stay up with the Joneses and all that kind of stuff. I'm so past that. I'm just going to be me, and people will love it or they won't, and that's totally cool. Because the people that do love it, you know, they'll be my fans for life, because I don't have to change or be anything I'm not. You know, I'm just being myself. I'm singing my music. I write my songs. I don't have other people in Nashville writing songs for me. I sing songs about what I want to say and what's in my heart and what's in my mind, and that's what my music is. I think that's pretty country.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It kind of was similar with me. I started in country when I was 12 years old and went, don't think this is for me. It's not cool enough, whatever, whatever. Went off, tried a bunch of different styles, but never really found my home. And it was when I came back to country music, it's the storytelling that is so
Yeah.
part of who I am and part of the music I want to make, that of course country music is the home for me. And I do agree.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the genres where artists are actually able to age and to
Yeah.
actually increase in value as they age, because it's all about storytelling and the wisdom you've learned along the way. Whereas, when you're in pop or rock or anything, they kind of just want, the young hot thing, and then only if you become the
Yeah.
next Jimmy Barnes or someone that you're allowed to, keep doing it when you're 60, 70, whatever. But
That's
country
right.
music, it's all about, learning as you go through life and writing all those stories, and the audience wants to hear that. So I think everyone's
Yeah.
very glad that they've got some more country music coming from you.
Oh,
New album
absolutely. I'm
11.
here for the long haul.
So what were the stories that inspired you to put together the album 11?
Nashville, traveling to Nashville. And Nashville, I went to Nashville in 2012, and then I went again with my wife in 2016. And look, I absolutely love Nashville. So it was a bittersweet thing for me because it, you know, obviously it made me realize two things: how much I loved country music and how much I wanted to get back to it, and also how much I love Australia and how much I never want to move to America. um, so
That's
it
not
was one of
usually
those
experience
things.
people have in Nashville.
Oh, look, I absolutely love Nashville, but Nashville's got a formula. It's got a thing. It's got a way of doing things, and that's cool. If you move to Nashville, you have to accept that. You have to realize that there is a way of doing things, and that's just what you have to do to get ahead of the game. And look, as much as I love the city itself, I love Australia, man. We've got the best country in the world, and I just, I've got a little family, and I've got no plans at all to relocate over there to try and sound American. I want to just do my thing, be Australian, be proud of Australia, be proud to be an Australian country artist. And if they accept me from over there, sure, I'll go over and tour and play my songs, but I ain't moving over there. Like, this is my home and this is where I'll be. So I'm here to support Australian country music because that's what matters most to my heart.
Ah, fantastic. I think there are a lot of Aussies out there that are very happy to hear that sentiment. I think, a lot of Australian artists did go over to Nashville, and some of them never come back. They, are so set on making it in Nashville and doing it the Nashville way.
And that's cool.
And I think,
Yep.
and that's totally cool. I do think a lot of them tend to
cool.
lose their Australian fan base a little bit when you spend all that time
Yeah.
over there. Aussies really want you to be performing here. They want to be able to connect with you and feel like you care about them as well. And so if you go and spend 5 years in Nashville and you're not doing any shows in Australia, I think you tend to lose people a little bit. But, you can always get them back when you come back and tour. I mean, Keith Urban has no issues.
Well, Keith Urban,
but you're about to perform for us.
Yeah, I am.
And the song you're going to do is Start Again. I want to hear what's the story behind Start Again.
Okay, so the story behind Start Again is a very interesting one. So I was signed to an American publishing company, and I was writing songs for them, and beats and all different kind of poppy stuff. And I wrote this song. I was actually on holiday in Fiji at the time, and I wrote a song called "Smell the Roses." And I sent my publisher Smell the Rose. I had recorded it, done the whole thing. It was ready to be mixed, and I sent them a draft of the song. And they said, "Look, I think the music's great, but I think the lyrics are really corny, and I think you can do better, and I think you should start again." And I went, "Okay, cool." And at the time, I really took all that on board, and it's the kind of guy that I am. I can handle those kind of comments. So I kind of stepped back and I reflected on the lyrics, and I thought, yeah, they probably are a bit corny, and I probably could do better, and I probably should start again. So I scrubbed the vocals off the record, and then I had a blank piece of paper and I wrote up the very top, "Start Again." And that was my working title. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start again. All right, I'm going to start again in life. I've been in prison, or maybe I've been doing the wrong thing, or maybe I'm just fed up with my life or whatever, and I'm looking for redemption. I'm looking to start again. I want to shed my skin, and I want to just start again. And so it's really funny because when the song came out a few months ago, all the interviewers were asking me, is this about COVID? Is this about, did I write the song about COVID? Well, I wrote the song in 2016, and it's just a coincidence of the timing that the song came out that everyone's like reflecting on what they're doing in their lives, and a lot of people are forced to start again or do whatever. And I've actually got some really nice emails and messages from people saying, I love your song. I love the fact that it's about redemption and starting again. I feel exactly the same way that you're talking about in the song. So it's very interesting that even the song had nothing to do with what's going on at the moment. People have gravitated to it and connected to it on a level that is right now. So it's just goes to show with music, music doesn't really have an expiry date. Everyone interprets music to however they want to interpret it. And people think it's about right now. And that's cool because you can, take it on however you want to take it on. So yeah, Start Again is about redemption. It's about finding yourself, and it's about starting again.
Fantastic. That's so true, that once you put the story and the lyrics out there, it's no longer in your control. It's up to the audience what they think it's about. Whatever they decide it's about is also true. It's true for everyone. So I can't wait to hear this song and see what I think it's about. So take it away, Jamie. This is an exclusive live performance Midday Muster of Start Again.
All right, cool. Here we go. I am ready, brothers and sisters. It's been a long time behind this prison walls. I can't change what I've done in the past, but tomorrow's a new day, and I'm a changed man. I'm going down to the river, gonna lay my head in the water, gonna fill my soul with sunlight, so I can rise on up and start again. I wanna rise on up and start again. Yeah, yeah. I've been a fool, I've been a selfish man, I've hurt the ones that I love, and I know that you can't forgive, so I pray that you forgive me. I'm going down to the river, gonna lay my head in the water, gonna fill my soul with sunlight, so I can rise on up and start again. I'm going down to the river, gonna lay my head in the water, gonna fill my soul with sunlight, so I can rise on up and start again. I wanna rise on up and start again, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
There's no one to give you a big round of applause here, but I'm sure everyone at home is giving you. That was beautiful, and you can tell you really felt every word of that. There's so many songs that talk about going down to the river, and I noticed that happened again in your one. So why do you think that is? Everyone talks about going down to the river.
I think it's biblical. You know, I think it comes from a point of being, baptized or and I think it's probably the Christian culture or like something like that where in the past you have gone down to a river and you've laid back and the sermon or the priests of whatever have lent you in the river, and I think that's what it is about, because maybe it's a water is a sign of refreshing or cleansing of the sins, and I think water can do that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm actually here by the Queanbeyan River, so maybe I'll have to go down.
I can see. see how you go, Dani.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jamie. It was a pleasure to have you. All the best with your new album. If people want to go and grab a copy of it or listen to it, how do they do that?
Okay, so it's on all streaming platforms, but if you're old school like me and like to buy CDs, you can go to my website, jamielindsaymusic.com, and follow the links there. And you can also buy my CDs on my Facebook page, Jamie Lindsay Music, or as I said, you can stream unto your heart's content, Spotify, Apple, all of those platforms.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Jamie. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday up in Central Coast, and hope the rain doesn't come down for too long all day.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me, Dani. I loved it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. See ya.
See ya.
Alrighty, always love when we get those beautiful live performances from our guests here on the Midday Muster. And yes, that's it. We do have the beautiful Queanbeyan River right behind me. There's a bit of a waterfall you might be able to hear. It's pretty cool. So, as I said, I'm down here in Queanbeyan. So, I'm here on tour. I did a gig last night at the Tourist Hotel. And I do want to take you inside what happened last night. So, I've got some clips prepared for you. And first up, it kind of turned into an impromptu single release for me. And this is a little bit on the down low, but I'm telling you all here on the Midday Muster. There is a pop remix of Keep On Loving You that actually dropped on streaming platforms on Friday, a little bit to my surprise. And the music publishing company that released my country version of it back in February decided to release a pop version as well to celebrate the 40th anniversary of REO Speedwagon's iconic hit, Keep On Loving You. November 4 is the 40th anniversary of that song. So a pop remix has just come out. It's on my Spotify channels and streaming wherever you stream. And so here's a little snippet of me kind of on the spot deciding this is a single launch and singing a bit of Keep On Loving You last night at the Tourist Hotel. And here in Queanbeyan, it is very much an old school music crowd. The crowd love hearing original songs. They're super supportive of that. And they sing along to your songs. And they're there all night to see you. It's not like they're just happen to be in the pub and they're playing pool or shouting or anything. Everyone's sitting down, paying attention to you. Super respectful crowd that are music connoisseurs. And they love to buy CDs. And I didn't bring enough merch last night. I actually sold out. But one of the songs I did sing was from my first album, which I was selling last night. Off the Desert Water album, I did do a little bit of Two Ships. Here's a little snippet.
Different times, different lives. I could be by your side, but we go on alone, like two ships passing by heading home. Someday.
All right, so that was just a little chorus of Two Ships. Now, having been on about a 6-month hiatus from when I had to cancel my tour back in March, I think it was, I had to cancel all my tour plans midway through, and I haven't played any live shows since then, so I decided it was time to add some new songs into my repertoire to make it a bit fun, a bit of a refresh for starting again. And one of the songs I decided I really wanted to do, I thought it was sassy and it would suit my style, was a little bit of These Boots Are Made for Walking.
I just found me a brand new box of matches, and what he's got, you ain't got time to learn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, boots? Start walking.
It was a lot of fun to learn. I'm just walking around these gardens here at Queanbeyan, and I just looked at this bush beside me and pulled out a little strawberry. Growing some strawberries here in the garden, here in the Queanbeyan. Next song I wanted to show you, of course, one that I've been while I released it a couple years ago. It was my single that I released as a solo artist after that Desert Water album. It was by my time living in the North in Alice Springs and being a young small town with young people around. So I decided to do Stepping Stones, and the audio good at whistling along to the song. So I've actually got the full song here for you to listen to from Moment. So I hope you feel like you're there with us at the Tourist Hotel. Here you go.
Times. It's currently my highest streamed song on Spotify.
Dani,
There's a great film clip of this. We filmed in a
walked
country
in a
town
real
out of
bad
Morpeth.
internet area connection. You've walked in a real bad internet connection.
This is just one of those stepping stone jobs.
It's dropping in and out. Yeah.
Not something I'm too proud of. And none of us here are planning to stay. Though Chris has been here 7 years today. And this is just one of those stepping stone towns. I'm not thinking of settling down. And everyone says I'll never leave. But one more year and I might scream. Oh, oh, oh. This is just one of those different summer days. I'm putting in time till I get my way. And no one ever thinks I'll get too far. But look at them here sitting in this bar. And this is just one of those stepping stone dreams. I'm building up to better things. First thing I need is to get away. Then I'll change the world someday. Oh, sometimes you feel like crying. Sometimes just one of those stepping stone things. Alright, who remembers that whistle? It's coming up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm not waiting for the wind to break. I'll fight my way out at Angel's Day. Sometimes you feel like crying. Sometimes you feel like dying. Sometimes you feel like trying. Oh, this is just one of those stepping stone things. Yeah, this is just one of those stepping stone things. Great job to my whistle choir tonight.
They did sound good on the recording there. Well, I've got just a couple more clips to show you before we sign off for today. But something that I felt I had to add into my set because we needed to have lots of sing-along songs. I heard that this crowd here loves country music, so I had to make sure I had plenty of classic country songs for the tourist hotel crowd down here in Queanbeyan. So I did learn a bit of Jolene.
He talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him even though you can. You could.
You're almost getting a full set here today on the Midday Muster. I hope you feel like you're at the gig with me. Shout out to everyone that's watching the show today. Seeing some of your comments come through. Of course, because I'm roving around on my phone, I can't quite see all the comments, but I have seen a few names pop up. And I did have a few of my fans in the audience last night too. Shout out to Beth Brown and Jeff Church. And I'm sure there are a bunch of others that I've mixed up in the group. There was Kerry, there was Deb, there was Mandy. There's so many people there last night that had a great time. I did sing my brand new single for everyone last night. So here's the full song of this.
It was a really hard song for me to write. Sometimes as songwriters, you need to write songs as a bit of therapy, just to process everything you're going through. And I came to the realization that I've been letting a really negative, toxic person stay in my life for way too long. And I thought, I'm a strong, independent woman, I can handle anything. Don't need to ask for help, I can just suck it up and take it. But I realised after a while that my happiness levels are so much lower than they used to be. And people can really chip away at your self-esteem and your well-being. So I had to put it into song once I finally got away from that all. This is my new song called Blaze. A sense of relief washed over me when you finally whispered goodbye. And the blame fell to you, not I. The anger and pain stung me again as the bandages fell to the floor. These scars weren't there before. You tore me down, one piece at
And before I sign off here in Queanbeyan, no country show at a pub would be complete unless you ended the night with a big sing-along song, a little bit of John Denver. Here is, and listen out for all the crowd singing along, feel free to sing along at home too. Here is Country Roads.
Country roads, big buses now. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. And mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Down country roads. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, Queanbeyan. My name's Dani Young. Come say hi. I'd love to meet you all. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I get to play here again sometime soon.
Well, I hope that felt like you were with me last night. It was my first gig back after COVID, after lockdown. So it was a big deal for me. I was a bit nervous going in. What if I forget all the words? What if I forget the chords? What if I can't play guitar anymore? Thankfully, that didn't happen. So it was a really fun night for me. I'm in beautiful Queanbeyan today before I head back home to Sydney. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Midday Muster. Big shout out to Bruce Mott and InView TV for making this live stream happen, even while I'm down here on the road. Big thanks to Jamie Lindsay as well for joining us today and playing his new song Start Again. Make sure you check out his music online as well. And we'll see you very soon for another episode of the Midday Muster. Oh, let me just get out of the darkness here so you can see my face. Oh, there we go. So my name's Dani Young. I've been your host for today. And, go check out my version of Keep On Loving You, the pop remix on Spotify now. And I'll see you next time for another episode, the Midday Muster. Signing off from Queanbeyan. Bye, everyone.